Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's going on midnight. I'm heading over to Sukhumvit, Soi 22. Let's go take a look at what's happening this Monday evening. And there goes the non-air conditioned bus. Just jump on the bus. You can't jump on in the middle of the road. At least you're not supposed to. You'll probably get some sideways looks. Plus, it's pretty dangerous to, in this case, run across a field of motorbikes. But hop on at the bus stop. They're easy to find. There'll usually be 20 people sitting there. Just get on the bus. You're probably going to stand unless you get really lucky. And a person will come around shaking the little change jar. 12 baht. It's an average price. Just have some 20 baht notes or keep some coins in a backpack. It sometimes depends on if it's an express bus, or definitely the air-conditioned bus will cost more, and that 9 out of 10 times, I'm no bus expert, but I've rode a couple of dozen times. The air-conditioned bus will usually depend on, let's say you're up by Terminal 21 and going to En Route. Well, that's going to be a different price than going all the way to Bering. That's obviously going to be more. But they'll come around and collect that fare from you. Don't worry about talking to the driver or anything like that. And in front of the Holiday Inn on the corner of Soi 22, this little beer garden has popped up in the past. Maybe it's been there a year. And the motorbike stand at the top of 22. I've said it in many videos, but this might be the first one you're watching of mine. Don't ask these guys to take you to, say, Nana Plaza. They'll throw out a very high rate. When you find the motor taxi stand at the top of a soi, they really just stay on Soi 22. You tell them the building halfway is normally 10 baht, all the way is 20 baht. Or oftentimes the Farang foreigner price, it's going to be 20 baht anywhere you go. Again, small price to pay if you don't feel like walking. But those aren't the guys to hire to take you to another part of town. Use the Grab and Bolt app for that. That's the El Toro Steakhouse across the way. Pretty good steak from what I'm told. I think I had a steak sandwich there once, but a little out of my retired price range. Ton of little beer bars here on Soi 22. Don't be put off. Yes, many of those ladies are transitional. We'll just put it that way. And when you go in and sit down, you're going to be approached, especially if you're a single guy, you're going to be approached by 4 or 5 of them. Again, don't let it put you off. You don't have to leave the bar with them or do anything, but maybe just being polite, at least buy one of them a drink and say, hey, you know what? I'm not looking for a girlfriend, just hanging out tonight, but they are working, and many of the bars require them to sell X amount of ladies' drinks. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of the price of ladies' drinks. That depends on the bar. A Soi Cowboy ladies' drink is going to be more than a beer garden lady drink, oftentimes, or beer garden, beer bar. Sometimes these beer bars, it's the same price, but usually there's a bit of a premium. So if your beer is 100 baht, generally a lady's beer might be 160. You go into Soi Cowboy and she's probably drinking some kind of little fruit juice drink for 250 to 300 baht. And don't let that put you off. These ladies are working hard in these bars, and yeah, they're not sitting there looking to get bombed every night. I've seen people, I won't say throwing a fit, but rather upset. They think they paid 300 baht for a shot of whatever, and they smell the drink when it arrives, and they think they're being scammed. You're paying for that lady's, what do you want to call it, time. You're not paying to get her drunk. So don't be put off on the fact that she's drinking some very watered down drink if there's any alcohol in it at all. In Soi 22, it's definitely an interesting street. There are just 100 little beer bars and massage places. You can see the side entrance up there to the M-Sphere with the big IKEA sign. One of my favorite bars down the way on the left is the Hangover Bar, right across the street from the Macro grocery store. But today, I'm heading right across the street to Buddy's Bar and Grill. I want to say there are 5 or 6 locations around town. Cheap drinking. There's no happy hour or anything like that. I believe a Samago Light is 90 baht anytime the bar is open. and a pretty good menu. I might go with the chili dog tonight. I talked to the owner, I think it was the owner, and he told me he gets his dogs from some guy in Pattaya who's kind of making them the old school way. I don't know, but they're nice and crispy, like those, what are those Franks in Chicago that kind of crack? Really delicious. Yeah, this is a great bar. On the last Friday of the month, just at this location, the Soy 22, I think the original location was up by where the macro food is today. What was that? I mix up my beer gardens. Across, everything changes here in Thailand. It changes all over the world. But right where the Holiday Inn is, that was Washington something beer garden. I remember that was a big place for all the Navy SEALs, it seemed, from like the Vietnam era. They used to hang out in there, and I think a lot of those guys are passing on. We're all getting a little older in age, and that's a pretty hard lifestyle they led. Probably not a lot of 90-year-old Navy SEALs or former running around. But up the street, across from my hangover bar and where the macro grocery is, that was, okay, it was Queens Park. Yeah, I've been in all those places. My memory is just not that great. And I'm not sure, I was told the story, but I can't repeat it. If Buddy's, it was called something else, and then it turned into Buddy's and moved down here, and now there's one on in the En Nude area. There's a Buddy's at the top of Soy 8 and Nana. There's another one in between Soy 18 and 20. I think there's one in the Siloam area, and I feel like I'm missing one other. But yeah, check out Buddy's Bar and Grill. But we'll call this the flagship location. They have that barbecue, which it's over here behind these folks. And the gong up there, the owner will ring the gong. It's all you can eat. It's under 400 baht. I want to say 325, 350. You have to be drinking, or at least be drinking something. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. What's going on here? This guy having a good time in their Thai gear. Negotiated a tuk-tuk rate. And yeah, there's no meters on these tuk-tuks, so it's all about your negotiation skills. Sometimes the tuk-tuk guys get a bad reputation. The second you jump on there, they're going to take you to their brother-in-law's jewelry shop and all. And that happens, but that happens more at 10 in the morning when you're walking by and they say, anywhere you want to go, 50 baht. Well, for 50 baht, you should expect a ride to his brother's tailor shop. Just tell him something reasonable like, you know what, I want you to take me around and show me X, Y, and Z, and I'll give you 200 baht, and he'll probably say yes and skip the whole tailor shop business. But what I was getting at was the barbecue here. It's kind of a thank you to the customers once a month, and it's delicious. It's links and prime rib roast and corn and homemade chili. They have really good chili. I just ordered the chili dog. I'll give you a little glimpse of the chili con carne. But yeah, it's worth it. If you're a carnivore, you're gonna love Buddy's Grill. Last Friday of the month. And there goes a Lala Move truck. You can hire one of these trucks that's covered, Lala Move. You can hire a van like this. You can hire a motorcycle, but they are a moving service. If you buy that chair at IKEA, well, I'll be honest, I've used Grab as many times to move something large. I just order the SUV and send them a message saying, hey, I just bought an easy chair, and the guy will text back, yeah, if it's just you, one person and an easy chair, no problem. That'll fit in the back of my SUV. But when I moved from one condo to another, it was all about that Lala Move or LA Move, LA, whatever you want to call it. Just download the app, put in I think you could put in your credit card, but I paid cash. It was just such small money. You pay a little extra and the driver will help you go up to your condo, and in my case, the 26th floor, move it down to the truck. And again, you'll have to pick enclosed truck or just a regular pickup truck like that. And during the rainy season, I would pay the whopping extra 50 baht for an enclosed truck, or even if it's 100 baht. You don't want your things getting rained on. And pay a little bit extra. I think all in, I had everything boxed up in my condo, and for, I can't even remember, less than 500 baht, he came up, helped me move it down to the truck and helped me move it up to the 20-something floor at my new condo. And it was so much work and done so efficiently, I gladly gave him whatever it was, another $10 US tip, which was about half of what the service cost. So you can see you can get a heck of a deal. Just don't sweat moving from one condo to another. Now, I didn't have couches and beds and all these kind of things. Most of the time when you rent a place, it's semi-furnished, couch, mattress, that is going to be in there. But I had rugs and 6 big boxes and 4 big suitcases, one with dive equipment, ironing boards, fans. I had a ton of stuff. It was not going to fit in a taxi unless you wanted to make 5 taxi trips. So check out La La Move. This guy right here in the orange vest, that's a motor taxi guy. He might be doing food. He doesn't have his little grab food bag. Oh, yep, he is picking up some food. So he's doing a little food delivery. He just doesn't have the little insulated bag. No, he's picking up one of the waitresses to head home. 9 out of 10 times the orange vest means taxi motor guy. And when you see the orange vest at the top of the soys, like I showed earlier in the video, again, those guys are primarily to just go up and down that one street. However, when things are slow, they'll also work the Grab and Bolt app. So if you order a Grab bike, a guy in an orange vest might come showing up in the condo. He's just moonlighting. Now, I eat plenty of Thai food, and I'm all about some Thai food late at night, but sometimes a guy just wants a chili dog or a hamburger, and this Buddy's, it's a pretty good choice late night. Most of the Irish pubs, O'Shea's being my favorite, the Royal Oak, Robin Hood, not sure about the Old English, but most of them close at midnight. I think they're a little bit more on a restaurant food, oh, thank you very much, maybe on a restaurant food and drink license. So there's the chili dog. Not cheap, but not unaffordable. I'll take a look at I didn't even look at the menu. I want to say less than 200 baht. And they have the drill bit on the bar. If you can lift it with one hand, there's certain rules. I don't know what they are. No putting the other hand on the bar, or I'm not sure. But if you can lift it with one hand, it says you get a free beer or drink. Nice dartboard in the back. I know my buddy John and I think my other buddy Grant is playing with him now in a dart league. I don't know if it's based through here. I think their home bar is the Blue Boar over on Sukhumvit Soi 20, but they play buddies often from what I hear. I don't know. I stink at darts, so I'm not even getting mixed up in that. If you see the bell off on the right there, you'll see these bells in many of the bars in Thailand. Don't be playing with that bell unless you're buying everybody in the bar a drink. Different bells have different meanings, but oftentimes it's all the staff and all the customers a drink. Sometimes it's all the ladies in some of the beer bars. But yeah, don't be playing with that bell if you're not in the mood to be buying around. Pretty slow midnight on this Monday evening. That M-Sphere Mall and really any mall, Big C, Lotus, they all seem to open at 10 in the morning and close at 10 at night. I wish in the capital city here there was at least one large grocery store that was open 24 hours. I know the Via Market and Tops in Phrom Phong, they're open 24 hours. But it'd be nice to have one of these superstores also open. And that was kind of interesting. That same lady who works in the bar, I don't know all these folks. She rode off on that motorbike with a to-go order, I assume, and came back empty-handed. So maybe they're just doing special delivery. I'm not sure. I've seen limited items on Grab food delivery from this Buddy's, yet I always make an excuse to come over here and sit here, do a little people watching. I've never ordered food online from Buddy's. I'll guess like everything in Thailand, they've worked out arrangements with certain customers and they call them up and say, bring me a burger here at midnight. And yeah, they tack on that little small taxi charge, whatever it is, another 30 baht. And here it comes. And I just watched these young ladies flag that cab down. Like in any city, they'll have a green or red light on the dash. Obviously red, they're heading somewhere, or they have customers. Here's some, I guess they're Indian tourists. There's a lot of richer Indian tourists that stay at the Marriott Marquis. Beautiful 5-star property just up Soi 22. Also this Holiday Inn. This seems to be a favorite area with folks from India. There's plenty of good Indian restaurants and seafood. Yeah, this is a fun little spot. But flagging down a cab with the green light on, that's not a problem. It's getting to be a little bit more of an issue to have them turn the meter on. You almost need to ask them in Thai to turn the meter on, so that's not a problem with my girlfriend. And right here's the green light, and she'll just politely close the door if they say, no, my meter is broken. It doesn't happen that often with a Thai person, but it does happen. I've seen it happen 3 cabs in a row. Myself, if it's pouring rain, I just want to go from point A to point B. If 100 baht is going to get the mission done, I'm fine with that. Broken meter, whatever. Rather than turning the meter on and paying 65 baht, I'm probably going to leave the guy 100 baht anyhow as the fare and tip. But it rubs a lot of Thai ladies especially the wrong way, and I get it. They are not in the business of wasting money, but calling it a taxi scam and all, I'm not going to go that far. When I'm a visitor, a foreigner, a farang, I get it. I'm not going to pay 500 baht for a ride that should be 85 baht, but I'll gladly pay 100 baht, maybe even 200 baht if it's pouring rain and 2 in the morning and impossible to get a cab. You have to remember these cabs, they're also working Grab and Bolt on the side. So they can get those rides to the airport for 600 baht, or they can take you the 4 blocks in the pouring rain for 150 baht. They would probably prefer to do that with a quote-unquote broken meter. But if you're going to drive a hard line and just wait for a cab to turn the meter on in the rain at 2 or 3 in the morning, I'll say 5 cabs, you're going to wait. There's an example of the red light, so he's either going somewhere or he has a fare in the cab. But that's up to you. The best bet is to use Grab or Bolt. It's not a problem. What I would not do is approach a cab that's sitting still. Those guys, they just kind of park in front of the malls, or I don't know, they'll park in front of the red light areas, and those guys are a little bit more notorious for shooting high, you know, from here to there. Oh, how about 800 baht, you know? Oh, okay, I'll do it for 400 baht. Where just a guy driving down the street, he probably would have did it for 200 baht. Again, I'm making all these figures up. Just try to avoid the guy that's parked. And as well as the Grab and Bolt apps work, they're actually a little bit more expensive from what I'm told. I mean, I don't really split hairs on saving 40 baht, but I've been told it's a little bit more than jumping in a cab and having the meter turned on. The problem in central Bangkok anyhow is that meter is not going on often. Now the other issue with the Grab and Bolt app, I'll say 50% of the time you'll get a normal car, and the other time it will be a taxi moonlighting doing Bolt and Grab. Now late at night, if you're a night owl like myself, there are not as many private cars. It's not like the United States where it's all private cars. I think one time in 1,000 rides did a taxi cab, and they're pretty rare in the United States, in San Diego anyhow. It showed up and said, yeah, I'm your, in this case it was Lyft. Uber and Lyft are the big ride shares in the US. But here, it's about 50-50, but late at night, most of those moonlighters in their private cars are gone, and it's, I'll say 90% taxis. The problem with that is they might accept your ride from here, Soi 22, all the way out to En Nut for, again, I'll make up the number, 88 baht. But they kind of accept the ride, and then they'll sit there waiting on the curb for another 5 or 10 minutes to see if they can get a live one. Somebody who's going to pay 200 or 300 baht to go half the distance, and then they'll just cancel on your ride. So don't be surprised with the cancellations on Grab and Bolt late at night. It happens all the time. Now, I use my U.S. credit card everywhere I can. I'm a miles and points guy. I'm always trying to put $3,000 spend on a new car to get that United airline bonus or whatever the case is. I'll use my card here in Buddies. You just have to take a look at your bill. Some retailers, it's actually pretty common, will charge you the 3% Visa or MasterCard fee. They'll just kind of tack it onto your bill. In other words, can I use my card here? Yes, you can, but if you charged up a $100 bill, Visa's going to charge us $3, so we're just tacking it onto your bill. You now owe $103. Again, it's small potatoes. If you're bringing up a $100 bill in Bangkok, you probably have other things on your mind than that $3. But on a $20 chili dog and a couple of beers, and probably less than that, it's just not that big an issue. Now, with that said, American Express, that is rarely going to be accepted in anywhere really in Southeast Asia, with the exception of large retailers. I think Starbucks takes it. I think Lotus does, but the Big C does not. I don't know. I don't have an American Express right now. Scruffy McMurphy's or Scruffy Murphy's on Sukhumvit Soy 23 up by Cowboy. I know they have placards that say we accept Amex, and it's a little unusual because I believe American Express charges the retailers 5%. So they're not willing to even deal with that or have the argument with the customer that they need to spend the 5%. So just be aware, if you're looking to put $5,000 on your American Express, it may be a little more difficult here in Thailand. Now, many of the bars around Thailand will have a laptop, or in this case, whatever that is, just a little screen on the bar. Yeah, wait your turn and just plug in the music you want. I wouldn't put on some kind of thrash metal or anything. I mean, read the room. And you know what? I'm going to correct myself. I'm wrong often. Right there it says American Express cards welcome here at Buddies. Maybe I should get that card and eat here 3 or 4 times a week until I make my spend. With that being said, it definitely is more tricky to use your Amex card over here. And I know it's a little controversial. I'm not sure when this video come out. It might be in a few weeks, so maybe the bot will change, but it just rolled under 32 point something, 32.6 I think, to the US dollar. And I have always said in my videos, I keep the 800,000 baht in the bank more. I think I have 1.5 million in that account. I spend it down, but it'll never go below $1 million to offset what I need for my nano for retirement. Other people have said, I'm not tying up 800,000 baht. I'll invest the money and make millions in the US. Yeah, sure, on whatever that is, 25,000 US dollars, and then transfer it over to Bangkok once a month on the 65,000 baht method. If you're unaware, you have to keep 800K in a bank, in a Thailand bank, or transfer at least 65,000 each month. Now, don't be confused. You need to show that 65,000 for a year. So it's not like you can immediately start doing that. On your first visa, you're going to have that 800K in the bank and show 12 months of 65,000 at least coming into your Thai bank account from abroad before they'll let you switch over. To the best of my knowledge, again, I don't pretend to be any kind of expert. I know the U.S. Embassy used to let you get a letter which showed you have Social Security, pension, whatever the case was, and you had the 65K. Many embassies, I know the U.S., knocked that off. I'm not sure if Australia, Canada, I'm not sure if they still do it. I'm just a guy from the U.S., and I know they do not. So the only way to switch to the 65K method is to set it up with 800K in the first year, do 65K for 12 months, and then ask to switch. But stand by. It's not always 37-1, which it was recently. It's now dropped under 33. So that 65,000 baht is gonna change drastically. You can see the swing within 6 months. So that's one other reason I choose not to do that. I just put the 800 in there. Yes, I'm losing whatever, a whopping 4% I could be earning on that $25,000 if I kept it in a US bank account. But do the math on what you're losing transferring over $65,000 at 32.8 compared to 37 to 1. That's where I lucked out. I don't say I know how to time the market, but I transferred that, I take it back. I transferred that 800, or really it was about $1 million baht, over when it was 36 to 1. And I've transferred two larger sums of money, 15,000 and 20,000, when it was 37 to 1. So I'm sitting pretty on my cash here in the US. If I was forced to move that 65K, or I wouldn't even cut it that close, call it 70,000 each month, yeah, you're gonna be sending a lot more US dollars over here at 32.8 than you would 37. So keep that in mind. They don't care what the exchange rate is. They just want to see a January, February, March, and it doesn't matter if it's 30 to 1 or 40 to 1. It's just simple math. I mean, basic Econ 101. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch, and it's true. You're not gonna beat the system. I get it. Nobody wants to tie up 800,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account, but you're pretty much saving that earnings, whatever you'd earn on that 800,000 in, let's say, 2, maybe even 3 months, you're going to save that on your Bangkok rent. So just look at your entire portfolio and make the best decision you can, but don't fool yourself. The baht can make drastic swings. In the past 6 months, it's now dropped down to in the 32s, and nobody saw that coming. It was 37 and climbing and maintaining no less than 35 for a couple of years. So things can happen. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Monday evening. It's about 12:30. I'm gonna have one more beer and get on out of here. It's still nice and dry, which is unusual. It's been raining late into the evening for the past month. So I'm gonna take advantage and have a nice walk home. I appreciate you watching my little video, and consider subscribing if you have not for more looks around town. We'll see you later.